It's time for the X and Y Show with your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y Show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y Show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings, and greetings. Welcome to another segment of the XY Show, and I'm your host, Roosevelt. Recording the show a day late, a little more than a day, blah, blah, blah. If you got my tweet, all of a sudden I got sick last night. I went out and ate early, early evening, around 6, and around 8 o'clock, I got sick. I mean, it felt like I had to throw up, but I couldn't, and that was a bad feeling. I don't know what that shit was, but it. I was like, man, what the hell is going on here? Now, of course, I had a few drinks, but nothing that should have affected me in that way. I was like, damn, what the hell going on here? I think I went to this place, I'm not going to say the name, but I ate some boneless chicken wings, and I think that's why I fucked up. I usually don't fuck with boneless chicken wings because you don't know what you're getting. Usually I like to see the bone, the chicken bone and shit. With the bone, I can see that's the chicken. But when you got boneless, you don't know what the fuck they're giving you. So I think that's where I messed up. But I feel good now. I feel better. A lot better. And so we're going to get this thing rolling. Glad to be back. And really miss you guys. It's only been a little week. But I miss you guys. I wish I could talk to you every day. And who knows, in the future, the XY Show might take off, and that might be something that might be possible. I have a lot of dreams and goals of where I want to take this show, so that's definitely one of them. I want to be the next guy in line where I have a show maybe daily, So, stay with me, and we're going to grow this thing together. So, I'm going to read one letter this week from Harry from Pennsylvania. Roosevelt, love your show. Me and my wife actually listened to your show naked while drinking red wine. Well, that's good, Harry. That's good. I'm glad you do that. That's what you're supposed to do. Everybody's supposed to listen to my show naked. I know some of you don't, and you're not following the rules, but people don't follow the rules and shit. But I hate, you got to follow the rules. But I appreciate that, Harry. You and your wife listen to it, the show naked. But Harry says, love your show, but I disagree with you. I fell in love with my wife 25 years ago. It was love at first sight. And we've been happily married ever since. Keep up the good work. All right, Harry. First of all, congratulations on your long marriage. 25 years, that's definitely a feat that's very unique these days. But Harry, come on with that bullshit. It was not love at first sight. I know Harry's referring to one of my episodes earlier where I was talking about love at first sight, and there was no such thing. And I still believe there is no such thing as love at first sight. people will say that shit, it just sounds like stupid motherfucker. How you gonna fall in love with someone on the first time you see them? You don't know shit about them. You don't know what kind of family they come from. You don't know what kind of problems they have, and you don't know shit. You don't even know if they can communicate with you. You might speak a different language or some shit. You don't know anything about them. So how could you love them? There's no such thing as love at first sight. That's the most bullshit term. I hate when people say that shit. There's no such thing. Now, there is lust at first sight. There's lust at first sight, like Harry. I've seen a picture of your wife. Send me a picture of your wife. But Harry probably seen his wife 25 years ago. Maybe she had a nice ass. Maybe she had some nice titties. I don't know. But it was something of her that really caused Harry to want to fuck his future wife. So that's when Harry went over there and struck up a conversation and eventually asked her out for a date, and the rest is history. But he didn't fall in love. He fell in lust. He seen something physically on his future wife, that made him want to fuck her. So he went over there and struck a conversation. Lo and behold, they actually were compatible. They actually got married, and the rest is history. But don't come with that shit like you fell in love the first time you seen her, because that's bullshit. There is no such thing as love at first sight. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. A lot of you out there saying, oh, that's not true. I fell in love with my husband. I fell in love with my wife. You're full of shit. You're full of shit. There was something about that person that you liked physically that you wanted to fuck them, and the rest is history. So don't give me that shit where you fell in love at first sight. You did not. That is not a true statement. There is no such thing as falling in love at first sight. What you did was fall in lust. Thank you, Harry. All right. Well, without further ado, I'm going to jump right into tonight's episode, which is, would your marriage survive a major catastrophe? Would your marriage survive a major catastrophe? And what made me think about this episode, because I remember, back when the recession was going on, around 2007, 2008, 6, 9, around those 4 years and shit. I know a lot of people. I mean, I went through some shit myself. But I know I had a lot of friends and people I knew and coworkers who were laid off and who were married, and they was going through some serious shit. All of you know about the foreclosures and all that kind of stuff, because a lot of people lost their jobs and they couldn't pay their mortgages, so they lost their homes. And I know a lot of people that were actually married. All I had to worry about was myself, so it made it a little easier than someone who were married and had a family to worry about. I know a lot of people and coworkers and stuff that went through that, and actually, I would say more than 65, 70% of them actually splitting up and getting divorced behind the recession. A lot of them were living high on the hog, and when I say that, they were very successful financially, and when that shit hit, you going from making 6 figures a year, and your wife and your family is used to living very comfortably, and all of a sudden that shit is gone, that's where you find out, for better or worse, it was good for when it was for better, but when it was for worse, a lot of them bailed out. And I'm not saying that, it was just women. Some women lost their jobs and their husbands. I know some husbands who cut out. So I'm not just saying the women. There's some men, that the wives were making good money and they lost their jobs, so that all the pressure was on the husbands and they got tired of it and they cut out. So I'm talking from both sides, both perspectives. when shit actually got tough, they bailed out. And, for those of you out there in relationships, I'm not talking to you because you're not married and shit, so you don't have shit to lose. But the couples out there who are married, who are listening to the sound of my voice, or is considering to get married, but really, if you're married, and the person that you're sitting next to or listening to or married to, if some shit really happened, do you really think that they would stick around? If you lose your job today, would she stay? If you lose your job today, would he stay? And I'm not just talking about losing jobs. If you become hurt, well, you can't physically perform anymore. You can't work. You can't fuck. You can't do nothing. You need help to go to the bathroom. That kind of shit. Would your wife stay? Would your husband stay? I'm talking about shit really that affects the families in a really hard way. A true catastrophe. Like those vows say, for better or worse, for rich or poor, right? I know a lot of you write your vows now and shit, but for the most part, you get what I'm saying. For better or worse, for rich or poor, until death do us part. That's what the vows say. That's what they mean. And if you're truly in love, then you would honor those vows. And no matter what happened to that person, you will stay. And I know that's easy to say, and I know a lot of you out there saying, oh, you know what, this is bullshit, I would stay, I love you. I mean, you really, if you sit next to your husband or you sit next to your wife right now, just look at them. Don't ask them shit. Just look at them. And you think that they would actually stay during a major catastrophe within your marriage. And I want you to think about that for a minute. And then I want you to think about, you cannot answer that question. You can't answer that question. You know why? Because you haven't been to a major catastrophe. Well, some of you have. Some of you have. Some of you lost your jobs and all that kind of shit. And, back in the recession, and she stayed. Some of you went through some medical episodes and he stayed. So some of you have already gone through some shit and you actually know that your wife or your husband will stay. And that's a good feeling to have. Somebody that truly has your back, for rich or poor, right? For rich or poor, right? You know they will stay. That's a damn good feeling. But for those of you who have not gone through a real catastrophe, you don't know. Unfortunately, you will not know until some shit happens. Some major shit happens. That's the only way that you will truly find out. That's the only way you will truly find out if she really loves you. That's the only way you will truly find out if he really loves you. You have to go through some shit, unfortunately. You have to go through the bad. But if you're always good, you'll never know. You'll never know. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, that kind of shit always linger on my head just a little bit. I always be wondering in the back, damn, if some shit happen, will she stay? I don't know. That's just me. I was looking at this article that I seen online. It was by Gabrielle Appleberry, and she wrote an article for Love to Know. And you can find that article on divorce.lovetoknow.com. It's divorce.lovetoknow.com. And again, her name is Gabrielle Appleberry. And she did an article on the top reasons for divorce. I thought it was kind of interesting. For some shit that people actually get divorced for. So I'm going to name the 10 reasons. Number 10, parenting style differences. And that is a problem because a lot of times you might be married to someone and one person believes in time out and the other person believes in giving ass whippings. And that could cause a conflict. One person wasn't raised a certain way. They're not used to, and they don't think that you should beat a child or, spank a child. And one person believes that timeout shit is bullshit. And you can put me down for that when I think that timeout is bullshit. But that's actually some shit you should talk about before you even get married. So I don't know how, I guess, with parenting style differences, that can fall into a lot of shit, not just discipline techniques. That could fall into, spending time with your kids and letting your kids do shit. So that could be a lot of things. But anyway, that's number 10, parenting style differences. Number 9, age. Okay. I guess the reason behind that one was it was found a true study found the couples who married later. So I guess people married too young. You heard that excuse before. We got married when we were too young. We were just kids, and all that kind of bullshit. And so, age. That's number 9. Number 8, addiction. Addiction to some drugs. Alcohol, pornography, So, some persons, addicted to something, they're taking a large time of marriage life away and taken away from the marriage, that addiction, and they don't get help and, other problems arise. So, that could be a big problem in a marriage, addiction. Number 7, unhappiness. Duh. If you're not happy, obviously, that will be a cause for divorce. So I guess the main thing is finding out why you're not happy. And whether it's talking to someone, but that could be a whole different lot of reasons. So, unhappiness, that's a big ass umbrella. But anyway, that's number 7. I would think that would have been a little higher. I don't know if she had these in order, but anyway. Number 6, incompatibility. All right. Number 5, abuse. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Actually, I would think these can't be in order because I would think 5, abuse would be a lot higher. But anyway, number 5, abuse. Number 4, lack of communication. That is definitely a reason. Number 3, money. Number 2, physical appearance. Wow. Yeah, I can see that one. A lot of guys, you married a beauty queen and over the years she put on a few pounds and you wanted to leave her. When you married a guy, he looked like the movie star and 10 years later he got a beer belly and now you're not happy. So physical appearance, how you look. But, I think, if you really love somebody, would physical appearance matter? I'm just saying, because, you guys who are married, you're supposed to be the experts. I've never been married. I've never been in love. I tell you guys that shit all the time. So I'm not trying to, be like, I'm above you guys and shit. I tell you that shit all the time for a reason. I've never been in love. So I'm saying that theoretically, if I was in love, physical appearance shouldn't matter, right? So that means if physical appearance is a reason for you to get divorced, then you was never in love. Anyway. And number 1, extramarital affairs, infidelities, cheating. All right. So some of these reasons are okay. Some of these reasons bullshit. But what it boils down to, this is what I believe. And what I believe is usually correct. I think that people get divorced because people don't get married for the right reasons. People don't respect they don't respect a marriage. They don't honor marriage, and that's what the problem is. All this other bullshit about money and physical appearance and what is it? What's another one? What was it? Addiction, age, parenting style difference. All that's bullshit. The only things that I think on this list was legit, of course, extramarital affairs, infidelities. Yeah. If you cheat on your husband or you cheat on your wife, that is ground for divorce. You can forgive them, but you can never forget. And some people actually stay. So, but that would be definitely one of them that I would consider legitimate for getting a divorce. Extramarital affairs. And number 2 is abuse. Somebody whooping your ass and they don't get help. And they continue to, abuse someone, that's cause to get a divorce. So those 2, abuse and extramarital affairs, are the only 2 reasons that I would give any credit of getting a divorce. All that other shit, physical appearance, money, lack of communication, that's important. But, a lot of these problems on this list, incompatibility, unhappiness, a lot of these problems can be corrected. And I believe if you truly love someone, like you say you do, then a lot of that shit wouldn't mean nothing. A lot of that shit is fixable. And sometimes even infidelities are fixable with some folks. I know people who experience infidelities. They've moved on, and they forgave, and they moved on. That's their choice. That's their right. I'm saying with me, that would probably be definitely, that's a clincher. Extramarital affairs, infidelities, that would be cause for me to get a divorce. And I would accept that for anyone getting a divorce. And the other one is abuse, of course. The other shit I don't respect. And I think that goes back to my point that I went over a few weeks ago. A lot of these divorces are simply going on because people just get married for bullshit reasons. They get married because they feel that their family is, think it's right, or it's the right time to get married, or it's cool, it looks cool, or they want to experience the honeymoon. They want to just be whisked away like Cinderella and shit. So it's all the wrong reasons. And the real reason that a marriage would take that, you guys are supposed to be the experts. For those of you who are married out there, you're supposed to be the experts. I'm not an expert on marriage. I've never been married. I've never been in love. But I would think that the only qualification for a good marriage is love. That's what I was taught. That's what I was taught. For a good marriage, you have to have love. You don't have to have all that other bullshit. So you get married for the wrong reasons. You get divorced for any kind of dumb shit. So you think about yourself, would your marriage survive a catastrophe? I think if you are really and truly in love, that it will. It will survive a catastrophe. But if you got married for bullshit reasons, you got married for money. Obviously, if he loses his job, that shit over. Don't take Einstein to figure that shit out. If you're married for his hard body and his 8-pack and shit and his good hair, And 10 years later, he got a belly and he lost all his hair. That shit is over. If you married her for big titties or nice ass and hair pussy, like I like it, Nah, forget that shit here. But if you married for big titties and a nice ass and she had all this long, pretty hair, she get a little older, her titties start to sag, her ass is really, really big, and she's not in that size 6 no more. She's in that size 16. If you married her for her good skinny size, that shit is over. Because you married for the wrong reasons. But I truly believe if you married someone for love, then your marriage could survive a catastrophe. Unfortunately, that's something that you can't find out until you have a catastrophe. Like I said before, some of you have already experienced some shit. You lost everything. You lost your house. You lost your job. And it could be from losing a job or weather, tornadoes. A lot of people lost their homes in one night. It could be from an accident. You lose your health and you can't perform physically anymore. You can't walk. You need to be taken care of. A real heavy situation. Unfortunately, you will not know the person that you sit next to. If you have not experienced a true catastrophe, unfortunately, you won't know if they'll stay until something happens. But if you got married for the real, true reason that you should be getting married, which is love, then I think she'll stay. I think he'll stay if you got married for the right reasons. But like I said, unfortunately, that's something you won't know until it happens. So if you're sitting next to that person you're married to, all you can do is look at them and wonder. All you can do is look at them and wonder and hope that if some shit happens, she'll stay. And hope if some shit happens, he'll stay. And that way that you know that, yes, he loves me. Yes, he loves me. I mean, people are always saying that shit, but a lot of times they don't really mean it. That's the causes for a divorce. Not all this other bullshit. It's simple. It's not rocket science, folks. People get divorced because they're married for bullshit reasons. That's all. That's all. It's not hard. It's not any complicated geometry formula and shit. They get married for the wrong reasons. Bullshit. But if people got married for the right reasons, you see less divorces. And I think that's something we should work on in society. Fuck what society say, you should be married by this age, you got to have a baby, you got to be happy, and your family saying, oh, you got to get married before you're 25 and all this other shit. No. Get married for the right reasons. Get married because you are in love with someone. I've never felt that way, but I'm sure that's a beautiful feeling. Get married because you fell in love with someone. Not because you fall in lust with them, or their money, or their body, or their status, all the other shit that shouldn't matter. Marry someone because you love them. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure if you suffer a catastrophe, they'll stay. Well, I hope you enjoyed this segment of the X and Y show. And think about that. If you're listening with your wife, or you're listening with your husband, think about that shit. Wonder, hope, that they will stay. If you got married for the right reasons, they will. But if you got married for bullshit, they probably won't. That's real. That's facts. Ain't shit you can do about that. That's life. So, get married for the right reasons. Oh, reason. Reason, singular, not plural, singular. The right reason. Love. That's the only reason why you should be getting married. If you don't fall in love with someone, but you're getting old, don't get married because you don't want to be old maid. If you don't fall in love, don't get married. Like me, I already accepted my fate. I'm looking at old folks' homes. And I'm going to be getting a lot of pussy in those old folks' homes. Y'all think I'm bullshitting. I'm looking at about 10 of them right now. And I'm talking to the directors. Anyway. I'm going to be getting a lot of pussy in those old folks' homes. I've accepted my fate because I don't think I'm going to fall in love. I might. Who knows? But I'm not going to force it. And if I'm not in love, I'm not going to get married. Just to get married. Just to be cool and shit. Just because society say I look, I'm of a certain age and I got to be married. No. Fuck that. If I don't fall in love, I'm not getting married. That's the only reason why someone should be getting married. If they fall in love. If you fall in love, you should get married. If you get married because you're in love, then your marriage will survive a catastrophe. I guarantee that. I guarantee it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this segment of the XY Show. Be sure to listen and subscribe to all of my avenues. Whichever one you may listen to, I'm on TuneIn, I'm on iTunes, I'm on Blueberry, I'm on Spotify, I am on Google Play, I am on Stitcher, I'm on iHeartRadio, and I'm on Castbox. So whatever one you listen to, be sure to subscribe and listen and comment and be sure to tell all your friends, share the links and everything. And I'm also on social media. I'm on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find all of that on my website, which is www.thexyshow.com. www.thexyshow.com. Everything is there. You can also see the XY store. There's a lot of cool shirts, Android covers, iPhone covers, coffee mugs, coffee cups, all kind of stuff in there. And I've been saying this shit for months, but I will design some more shit to go in there. So stay tuned. I've already got some ideas. But check out the store, buy a shirt, take a picture, and I will definitely post it on my IG account. There's also a contact form on my website. You can tell me any constructive criticisms, anything you would like to hear for the future, or anything you would like to just say hi, or send me a naked photo or something. Females only. I'm just kidding. But everything is on my website, so be sure to check it out. And that will do it. So until next time, and I want you always to remember that you cannot have love without X and Y. Later.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.